And we see Insanshur, who is thinking, he is so calm, does he really have an answer to my question? That's impossible. I have been preparing this question for a long time now. This stupid patriarch is only in the spiritual realm, how could he know? And the great elder is saying, do you know the answer, patriarch? Then Ningtian says, what is Tao? I don't know what's so difficult about this simple question. Just take a good look. And Ningtian starts going down rapidly. And he reaches the stage. And seeing Ningtian, the crowd starts saying, the patriarch has entered the stage. The patriarch has shocked us too many times now. And a female is saying, how will he shock us this time? And Insanshur says to Ningtian, I see that you are young, and your level is low. Does the demonic heavenly sect really wish to be as hasty as to send you to answer my question? And Ningtian says sometimes, some things are not determined by age. Then we see Ling Ao, which is saying, it's stupid to call this question simple. I suppose he is just talking nonsense. Sissy, I will now tell you what Tao is. And then Ningtian starts telling Insanshur, Tao, it's formless, soundless and scentless. It's vast with no boundaries, and tiny with no space. Tao, it creates all of heaven and earth. It's the whole energy that dominates everything in the world. And the crowd starts getting very surprised after listening to Ningtian's words. And an old man starts speaking, as expected of the patriarch, his understanding of the Tao is so deep and unfathomable. And the other guy says, why couldn't understand the patriarch's words? And a woman says, regardless, he looks so cool, and Yaoqi Saint is thinking, he is worthy of being the legendary patriarch. He stabilized the situation with just 2 sentences. And after listening to Ningtian's explanation, Insanshur tells him, do you think you can get away with it by spouting some words that no one understands? And Ningtian says to him, what are you talking about? Hey, it's bad to be that uneducated. Listen carefully. For you, there won't be a lesson like this again. There are 3,000 paths, each of which have their own understanding. Take the sword Tao for example. This path uses the sword intent. It is the swordsman's understanding of the sword. If the person who is practicing swordsmanship understands sword intent, he can be said to have understood the sword Tao. By analogy, what is Tao? I don't need to explain them one by one, right? What the patriarch is saying is that there are 3,000 kinds of Tao among those paths, right? Every one of them is unique in its own way? And the crowd gets very shocked after hearing Ningtian's explanation. And Ningtian further explains, the Tao is simply the path you choose. Among the 3,000 paths, when you succeed in cultivating one, the Tao is already in your heart. Otherwise, how could you succeed in cultivation? Then, the crowd gets very excited after hearing this. And they all start saying, I get it. The patriarch's words have enlightened me and solved all my issues. I am going to break through. Insanshur along with the crowd gets very shocked after hearing Ningtian's words. And he is saying, it can't be, it's impossible. To cultivate the Tao, to understand the Tao is in the heart. If it was that simple, I would have. And then, after listening to Ningtian's words, Insanshur makes a breakthrough. And he becomes even more shocked. And Ningtian is smiling, and he is saying, he doesn't admit it with his mouth but his body is honest. At the same time Ningtian is thinking, I didn't expect that my casual talk could shock these talented people, they must be easy to fool. And then Ningtian gets a notification from the system, and the system says, you are shocked. Everyone present. Bonus skill card, Great Emperor Strike. Great Emperor Strike. You can use the strike of a peak Immortal Emperor Realm. After use, the skill card becomes invalid. And seeing the system notification, Ningtian is thinking, the strike of a peak Immortal Emperor Realm Cultivator. If I encounter a powerful enemy whose realm has several stages higher than mine, this is equivalent to having a life-saving trick. And the Great Elder is very shocked, and he is saying, in the past, one wise thought from him shook the hearts of many talents. And now, he cleared up everyone's doubts. Having such a patriarch is truly a rare blessing for us. But Luo Wuqing is watching Ningtian's moments carefully. Then Insanshur says to Ningtian, I admit, it is my loss today. And saying this, Invincible starts leaving the stage. And the crowd is saying, the patriarch of the heavenly demonic sect is amazing. But while Invincible is saying, the plan failed, so the sect leader has to make a move. Humph! So what if you can answer it? After I return to the sect, you and your sect will suffer a huge loss of face. After this, Ling Ao says to Ning Tian, the heavenly soaring sect, Ling Ao. Please guide me, patriarch. And Ling Ao comes on stage. Then he says, I wish to discuss the sword Dao. And seeing Ling Ao in front of Ning Tian, the crowd starts saying, the show is starting. Ling Ao is the most powerful among these three geniuses, and his strongest point is swordsmanship. Can the patriarch still stand victorious? And Ning Tian says to Ling Ao, bring it on. At the same time Ning Tian is thinking, great. Just in time to test the martial arts given by the system. Then Ling Ao takes his sword out of its sheath, and he is saying, the shadow sword in my hand is a treasure-grade weapon. And he attacks Ning Tian with the sword. And seeing this the crowd starts saying, heavens! In the entire heavenly spirit domain, the treasure weapon is one of the most powerful. The sect leader really values him giving him such a sword. Treasure grade? Is that so powerful? Weapons of the domain are generally divided into 5 grades. Magic weapon, spiritual weapon, treasure weapon, immortal weapon, and artifact. I heard there are grades above artifacts, but no one has seen them. And Ning Tian starts smiling after listening to the crowd. And he is thinking, I see. However, the weapon is secondary, its effectiveness still depends on its user. And Ling Ao turns his sword towards Ning Tian. Then he says, Patriarch, why don't you have a sword? If you don't, how can we discuss the sword Dao? And Ning Tian says, I don't have one. And hearing this the crowd wants to give their weapons to Ning Tian, and those people are saying, Patriarch, I have a good one. And the other man says, use mine, Patriarch. Mine is good, it's a spiritual weapon. Then we see that energy starts coming out from inside Ning Tian, which is thunder. And Ning Tian is saying, although I have no physical sword, I have other ones. And as soon as Ling Ao feels Ning Tian's aura, he gets extremely shocked. And he is saying, aura turning into a sword, your swordsmanship has reached complete perfection. And we see that because of Ning Tian's power, a thunder dragon has been formed. And Ning Tian is saying, sword intent dragon. And Ning Tian attacks Ling Ao with the dragon. And Ling Ao gets very nervous after seeing this. Then the crowd is saying, such a fierce sword intent. It's like a blue dragon bursting out of the mountain floor, it's incredible. Then Ning Tian apologizes to Ling Ao and says, sorry, my hand slipped. Even if I have understood sword immortal practice to master it. And Ling Ao is very nervous. And he is saying, the sword intense patriarch and I have mastered are not at the same level at all. There's really always someone better. Patriarch, I surrender. In this exchange I've lost. And as soon as the crowd hears Ling Ao saying that he has accepted defeat, they all become very happy. And they all are saying, he won. I know it. The patriarch would definitely win. He actually defeated the most powerful genius of the demonic path. The patriarch is truly strong. And Ling Ao starts leaving the stage. And while leaving he is saying, Yaoqi Saint, will you come next? And seeing Ling Ao leaving, Ning Tian is thinking, I at least got the chance to fight with someone and test the sword's intent. Then we see Yaoqi Saint, which is speaking to Ning Tian, Patriarch, I'm not here to discuss Dao, I'm here to. And as soon as Yaoqi Saint says this, purple-colored energy starts coming on the stage, seeing which Ning Tian gets surprised. And he's thinking, this is bad, my aura is being suppressed. I can't move. Damn it. And due to that energy, Ning Tian's power starts getting suppressed. And he comes on the stage by the hair of his knees. And he's thinking, it's an immortal Emperor Realm cultivator, but it can't be the Luo Wuqing, who is it? And we see that because of purple energy everyone is feeling a lot of pressure. Luo Wuqing then uses her powers to suppress the purple energy, bringing relief to all of them. Then those people are saying, the aura vanished? And a man says, the Empress is as strong as ever? And the other man says, it's fortunate that the Empress took action. Then Luo Wuqing said, old shadow demon, now that you're here, why bother hiding like a rat? And then a man opens the portal and comes out. And he is laughing. Then the man says to Luo Wuqing, our 5 major sects have been long dissatisfied with your sect being the leader of the demonic Tao. If you know about current affairs, then you would hand over your position as leader. And many of the old man's friends also come to that place. Poison Valley leader Snake Venom. Demonic Soul sect Elder Soul Destroyer. Yin Yang sect leader Wei Vinyang. Scorpion Gate Lady Scorpion. Shadow Demonic sect leader Old Shadow Demon. And looking at them, the elder says, 5 strong cultivators of the immortal Emperor realm all come together to force the heavenly demonic sect. And looking at those people, Ning Tian is thinking, the 5 of them are all immortal emperors. Such strong people are forcing their way into our sect. Can my wife stop them? Then Ning Tian gets a notification from the system. There is no need for the host to worry. You underestimate your wife's power. This system recommends the host to enjoy the show. And Ning Tian is thinking, at worst, I will have to activate the Emperor's punch skill to give my wife a helping hand. And after listening to those people, Luo Wuqing starts getting angry, and she says angrily, oh, you want to be the leader, are you worthy of it? And after listening to Luo Wuqing, a man says she didn't pay them any mind at all. Could it be that the Emperor's cultivation is so high that far surpasses theirs? And Yao Qi Saint says, looks like that battle today is inevitable. And Ning Tian becomes very happy when he listens to Luo Wuqing. And he shows his thumb and says, she is indeed my wife. So domineering. Then this scorpion lady says, Luo Wuring, since you're so arrogant, don't blame us for attacking. Elder Soul Destroyer, why don't you bring out the treasure of your sect? And the old man is the one using the soul-destroying diagram. And he does, due to which many skeletons move forward to attack. And that man is saying, this is a low-grade, immortal weapon. It took 9,999 souls to refine. Their souls will be trapped in it forever, unable to reincarnate. Although I can't summon that many souls for the time being, I can still summon a mere 3,000. And seeing that attack, a man from the crowd says, immortal weapons are extremely strong. It is said that some are even able to let the holder cross realms and defeat their enemies. And a woman says, right, even if one appears, all sects would fight for it to death. And a man says, he actually took out such a weapon. The Empress is in trouble. And seeing that attack, Ning Tian is saying, 9,999 souls to refine this. This diagram is truly wicked. And the system tells Ning Tian, don't worry, host. Your thunder tribulation can subdue this soul destruction technique. These 3,000 souls are a good resource. Each one can power up your soul pearls. And Ning Tian is thinking, not bad, system, I have to get this soul destruction diagram. And Luo Wuqing is smiling, and she is saying, a low immortal weapon, it seems like you have been carefully preparing for a long time. And the old man says, of course, in order to beat you, each one of us has prepared an immortal weapon. Let's see how you can resist. And Ning Tian is shouting, don't be afraid, wife, these old guys are just bragging right now. How the weapon is used depends on its master. Leave that old soul destroyer to me. Then the man says to Ning Tian, you brat, without Luo Wuqing protecting you, I could kill you with one finger. But then a bright light from the sky falls on Luo Wuqing. Then Luo Wuqing is saying to them, 1 divine realm, 7 stars. 4 divine realms, 3 stars. I wonder what will happen now. Do you dare to challenge me? And seeing Luo Wuqing's power, the man says, she is at the peak of the immortal Emperor realm? Old ghost, you didn't mention she had reached 9 stars. So what? We are attacking with all we have. I don't think she can withstand it. But the old man says, Elder Soul Destroyer, use the 3,000 souls to deal with the others. But the man doesn't listen to his partner, and is about to use 3,000 souls to attack. And all of them together move forward to attack Luo Wuqing. But then Luo Wuqing attacks them, and seeing this, the old man says, Elders of the heavenly demonic sect, follow me in killing these souls. And Ning Tian is also ready to use his power, these 3,000 souls again. If you meet me, you will turn into ashes in the end. And a man looks at Ning Tian and says in shock, each of the souls is comparable to the existence of the Earth King realm. And the other man says the patriarch is just in the spiritual realm, yet he is so relaxed when facing the souls. And Ning Tian is getting notification through the system, you shocked all the elders, reward is the Thunder Tribulation Restrainment. Tenfold comprehension of the Thunder Tribulation Restraint Formation. Comprehension complete. And Ning Tian is now completely ready. And he is saying, Thunder Tribulation Restraint Formation. And as soon as Ning Tian activates the formation, a lot of thunder starts coming out, which directly hits the person, due to which he is experiencing a lot of pain. And Ning Tian is saying to her, I want you to give you a helping hand finding true freedom, what I do is not that much. And everyone gets very shocked after seeing Ning Tian's power. And they all are saying, he created the formation in seconds. Is the patriarch a formation master? And the lady says, the patriarch becomes even more mysterious. And then Ning Tian takes the scroll from that man. And catches him. And he is saying, old man, thank you for the 3,000 souls. And the man says, Shadow Demon. Where did the brat come from? He actually refined my diagram. And his partner says he is by no means trash. And the old man says, it must have been pretending to be weak. He deceived us. And Luo Wuqing is ready to attack those people and she is saying, you don't have the power to have time to chat? You 5 die. And the old man gets scared after seeing Luo Wuqing's attack, and he shouts, watch out. Use your spiritual power quickly. And then he gets attacked by the heavenly demonic palm. And we see that they all fall very far. And blood is coming out of their mouth. And they all get badly injured. And a man says we must have fallen into their trap. Now the two of them have joined forces, and the old man says, we can only sacrifice the immortal weapons, kill her first, then deal with the rest. And his partner says, yes, if we don't unite, this will be our end. And they stand together again to attack. And Luo Wuqing also notices this thing. And all of them together attack Luo Wuqing with their respective techniques. And the old man is saying, Elder Soul Destroyer, take action quickly. And the man moves forward to attack Ning Tian, saying, brat, you refined my diagram. And as soon as Luo Wuqing sees that the man is about to attack Ning Tian, she gets scared. And now Luo Wuqing has become very angry, and she is saying, if you dare hurt him, I'll tear you to pieces. And very dangerous energy is coming out from Luo Wuqing, due to which those people start facing a lot of problems. And Luo Wuqing attacks him with a heavenly demonic palm, due to which they all get injured even more. And that man is about to attack Ning Tian, and Luo Wuqing is quickly going to save Ning Tian. Besides, the great elder would also have become very distressed. And the elder behind him is saying, is the legendary patriarch of our sect destined to die today? And Ling Ao says, the shadow demonic sect and the other sects are simply too wicked. And the Yaoqi saint is saying, don't act rashly. Yet, this is a battle between immortal Emperor realm cultivators. It's not something we can interfere with. And that man is about to attack Ning Tian, and Ning Tian is saying, you old bastard system, activate the Great Emperor's strike for me. And the system activates the skill card, due to which Ning Tian's power increases a lot. And seeing this the man becomes very shocked, and he says, an immortal emperor's power? This kid, is he an immortal emperor? And Ning Tian says to that man, old man, it's you who deserves to die today. Then Ning Tian attacks the man, due to which a huge explosion occurs at that place. And Ling Ao gets very shocked after seeing this, and he says, a strong cultivator of the immortal emperor, the realm was turned into dust with just one strike. And Ning Tian stands quietly at that place. Then after this, Luo Wuqing comes to Ning Tian and Luo Wuqing is thinking, Ning Tian is clearly only in the spiritual realm. How did he release the aura of an immortal emperor? And then blood starts coming out of Ning Tian's mouth, and Ning Tian is about to fall. But Luo Wuqing catches him, and Luo Wuqing says to Ning Tian, are you hurt? And Ning Tian is thinking, my heartless wife, you still care for me. Then all the elders come forward to help Ning Tian, and Luo Wuqing tells them he's right. He just passed out from exhaustion. Next, it's time to settle our accounts. And now Luo Wuqing wants to kill them all. And we see that those people are running away in fear. And the old man is telling them all to get out of this place quickly, but Luo Wuqing takes out the bow and arrow and she says, "You want to escape from my hands? Do you think that's a possibility?" And Luo Wuqing attacks them with an arrow, which directly hits all of them, due to which they are killed. But the old man still survives, and he says to Luo Wuqing, "You are crazy." Blood escapes. And the old man runs away from this place, using the blood escape technique. And Luo Wuqing says to Great Elder, "Now that the immortal emperors of the four sects have been taken care of, go and finish them off." After this the scene shifts and we see Righteous Alliance. And a man is saying, "All four major sects are gone?" The shadow demonic sect of the demonic Diaro led the four immortal emperors to force the heavenly demonic sect. Unexpectedly, only the old shadow demon escaped with serious injuries. The good-for-nothing husband of the Empress summoned the power of an immortal emperor to kill Elder Soul Destroyer with one strike. And the old man says, "Luo Wuqing is also extremely powerful, at the peak of the immortal emperor realm. How many would dare to provoke her?" As for that good-for-nothing, maybe she had given him some means of protection. And the man says, despite this, the names of the heavenly demonic sect and that patriarch are now spread throughout the heavenly spirit domain. Then the old man says it is not an issue. When the Void God Heavenly Palace's leader comes out from seclusion, with us being at the peak of the immortal emperor realm, how can Luo Wuqing be our opponent? Also, tell everyone, the many disciples that have been sent out for training, if they meet the heavenly demonic sect's disciples, kill without mercy. There. Heavenly demonic sect. Holy pool. 3 days later. Ning Tian slowly opens his eyes, and he is saying, "Ugh. I'm still alive. My whole body feels like it is falling apart. I thought I was going to meet my end with that old man." And the system says to Ning Tian, as the host has shocked everyone in sight, the level of faith cultivation has been improved, and faith energy has been stored. When your faith energy reaches its full capacity, it can be used as a means of attack. Faith energy absorption +1, faith energy absorption +2. Current faith energy storage, 30/100. And seeing the system notification, Ning Tian is thinking, that's great. Not only does it counter aura, but it can also store faith energy and turn it into an attack. Then the Great Elder says to Ning Tian, "Patriarch, you have finally awakened. We're all so worried about you." And the second elder says, "Yes indeed, a strong person of the immortal emperor realm was killed by the Patriarch with a single move. Patriarch, you are truly amazing." And Luo Wuqing has taken out some treasures, seeing which the Great Elder gets shocked and he says, "Empress, aren't these the immortal weapons taken from those four?" The Wind Dragon Spear, a low-grade immortal weapon that emerges like a dragon with immeasurable power. The Black Tortoise Shield, a low-grade immortal weapon, as black as ink and indestructible. The Red Sky Sword, a middle-grade immortal weapon, red like a blazing flame. Then Luo Wuqing says to Ning Tian helped immensely with the annihilation of the four sections. The heavenly demonic sect doesn't treat its disciples poorly. So please choose one of these three. And Ning Tian is thinking, all three? No, with my current strength, I can't control all three of these weapons. The Red Sky Sword, a middle-grade immortal weapon, red like a blazing flame. Then Ning Tian grabs the sword and he says, "Then, I choose the Red Sky. With this deep aura, it's indeed an extraordinary weapon." And Ning Tian starts making a blood contract with the Red Sky using his blood. And the Red Sky immediately recognizes Ning Tian as his master. And Ning Tian is saying, he is worthy of being the Patriarch. The blazing flame aura is so strong. And a lot more starts coming out from inside the sword, seeing which everyone gets very shocked. And those people are saying, what a powerful reaction. Who would have guessed that the Patriarch's sword intent would be so great? But Ning Tian feels something strange and says, weird, the aura suddenly weakened? It became like an ordinary spiritual weapon's aura. Then Luo Wuqing tells Ning Tian, Red Sky has that specific trait. Its grade changes together with its master's strength. And Ning Tian says, so the master's strength is what determines its grade? And Lu Wuqing further says, yes. The stronger you become, the stronger it will become with you. The weaker you are, the weaker it will become. Everything depends on your strength. And Ning Tian says to Lu Wuqing, thank you, dear wife. At the same time, Ning Tian is thinking, as long as I continue to improve, there is no limit to it. Red Sky will eventually become an immortal weapon stronger than any other immortal weapon. And Lu Wuqing says, Ning Tian, I have something to ask you. That day, your great Emperor's strike, where did it come from? I know that it's not possible to summon the Emperor's shadow by just relying on your physics. And after listening to Lu Wuqing, Ning Tian is thinking, above the immortal Emperor realm, there are even stronger people, and this heavenly spirit domain is simply one of the 3 heavens and 9 realms. Even if I can trust Luo Wujing right now, the system is involved in this as well. Even if one less person knows about it, that will lessen the danger for me. Then Ning Tian said to Lu Wuqing, I don't wish to lie, but right now. And after listening to Ning Tian, Lu Wuqing says, forget it, since you won't wish to tell me, then don't. Shortly put, the treasures you must not hide be exposed. Remember, there's always someone greater and stronger. And Ning Tian becomes happy after listening to Lu Wuqing, and then he says, thank you for being so considerate, dear wife. Don't worry, I will tell you if I have the chance in the future. It's just that I don't know when that will be. And then someone says, reporting to the Empress, Yaoqi's saint is asking for an audience. And Lu Wuqing says, please ask her to wait for me in the main hall. I will be there right away. After this, the scene shifts and Yaoqi's saint is saying to Lu Wuqing, Your Majesty the Empress, by order of the Queen Mother of the West, I am here to borrow the heavenly mirror of your sect. And Lu Wuqing says to Yaoqi's saint, the heavenly mirror is a precious treasure of our heavenly demonic sect. Why does the saint needs to borrow it? And Yaoqi's saint says, forgive me, Empress. This involves a secret of our Yaoqi's holy land, so I can't tell you. However, by the Queen Mother's order, if your sect is willing to lend us the mirror, we are willing to provide you with a Yaoqi immortal elixir. And Lu Wuqing gets a little surprised after listening to Yaoqi's saint's words, and she says, a Yaoqi immortal elixir? That's unexpected. Yaoqi's holy land is even willing to take out their elixir in order to borrow the heavenly mirror. In the holy land of Yaoqi, there is a unique immortal dew lotus. It takes 10 years for one flower be formed, and it's full of spiritual energy. It can even allow someone at the peak of the immortal emperor realm to step into the demigod realm, and that's why it's called the Yaoqi immortal elixir. Then Yaoqi's saint says, I wonder if the Empress willing? If you can get it elixir and successfully break through, you will have a better chance of winning against the Righteous Alliance's siege. And Lu Wuqing says, I can lend you the mirror, but you have to agree on one condition. And Yaoqi's saint is asking, what is it? But we are not told what Lu Wuqing said to Yaoqi's saint. After this, the scene shifts. And Lu Wuqing has come to Ning Tian, and Ning Tian says to Lu Wuqing, you want me to take the mirror to Yaoqi's holy land? And the elixir can increase the probability of my breakthrough? And Lu Wuqing says, no matter how slim the chance is, it's worth the try. In addition, I know you've been working very hard to improve. I won't miss this chance to aid you. There's a sacred place in Yaoqi where you can improve your physique. When you take the mirror to them, mention this to the Queen Mother of the West, and she will approve. And Ning Tian is thinking, right, if it hadn't been for Luo Wujing, I might have died in someone else's hands already, even if not in the hands of that old man's soul destroyer. Only by improving my physique will I not exhaust myself in the future when using advanced techniques. And Ning Tian says to Lu Wuqing, thank you for your consideration. By the way, dear wife, it's said that all of Yaoqi's disciples are women. Aren't you afraid? Then Lu Wuqing says, no, if you do something bad, you will pay for it. And Ning Tian says, so, you are not afraid of becoming a widow? But Lu Wuqing says, of course not. Are you planning on going to the cliff to continue to cultivate? Or will you go to bed? And as soon as Ning Tian hears Lu Wuqing's lovely words, he becomes very happy. And he quickly makes Lu Wuqing lie down on the bed. And tells him, of course, I'll go to bed. And Ning Tian is about to kiss Lu Wuqing. But Lu Wuqing asks Ning Tian to stop. Then she says, "You are not allowed to do that to me, I'm not ready." Then Ning Tian agrees to it. And Ning Tian hugs Lu Wuqing. And Lu Wuqing says, "But I can still sleep in your arms." Heavenly demonic place. And many people gather at this place, who are talking about Ning Tian. The patriarch didn't go to the cliff last night, so he must have been cultivating somewhere else instead. Such a hard-working patriarch, he's truly worthy of being a role model for our entire generation. Then Ning Tian says, "No matter where, I always need to work harder." And Luo Wuqing says to the Great Elder, "Great Elder, please take out the heavenly mirror." So the Great Elder takes out the heavenly mirror from the storage bag, and Luo Wuqing tells Ning Tian, "This is the treasure of our heavenly demonic sect, the heavenly mirror. Nothing can be hidden from this mirror. Give me your hand." And Ning Tian moves his hand, and Luo Wuqing further tells Ning Tian, "I will carve a formation onto your palm that can be used to control the mirror. The heavenly mirror has the power of the Emperor, others cannot snatch it away from you. So rest assured." And Ning Tian understands Luo Wuqing's words. Besides, he is also very happy. And Luo Wuqing says to the saintess, "Then, you can go to Yaoqi with the saints." Then the saintess calls her heavenly Pegasus. Then she says to Ning Tian, "Patriarch Ning Tian, please." But Ning Tian is imagining something different, and he is thinking, "Isn't this place a bit too cramped?" Then Ning Tian says to the saintess, "I thank the saintess for her kindness, but I can't go inside your heavenly carriage." And as soon as the saintess hears this, she gets a little surprised and is thinking, "Many young heroes have wanted to ride the Pegasus with me. And the president, but he declined?" And then Luo Wuqing starts calling spirit feather sparrows, and within some time a bright light starts glowing at that place. And a very big sparrow comes there. And Luo Wuqing tells Ning Tian, "This is the spirit feather sparrow, a level 6 monster. It's equivalent to a cultivator of the Sky King realm. It will take you to Yaoqi." Then the Ning Tian goes near the big sparrow and starts caressing it. At the same time he is saying, "A level 6 monster is equivalent to a cultivator of the Sky King realm." Then Ning Tian sits on the sparrow and he says to Luo Wuqing, "Dear wife, we'll come back as soon as I can." And Luo Wuqing says to Ning Tian, "Stay safe." Then Ning Tian says to the sparrow, "Spirit feature sparrow, let's go to the Yaoqi Holy Land." Then both of them start leaving this place. And Ning Tian is very happy sitting on the sparrow, and he is saying, "This is the first time I have left the sect after coming to this world. I heard that there are 3 heavens and 9 realms. The heavenly spirit domain is located in the 2nd heaven, and it has been divided into 2, righteous and demonic Tao. The Yaoqi Holy Land has always maintained neutrality, and the 2 sides never bothered them. If there's truly a place to improve one's physique in the Holy Land, I'm definitely not the only one who wants to go there. I wonder what kind of trouble I'll encounter when we arrive." And the saintess looks at Ning Tian and thinks, "Patriarch Ning Tian, the heavenly spirit domain is vast, and the Yaoqi Holy Land is far in the west. So this trip will take about 1 day and 1 night. And Ning Tian is saying to the saintess, "Thank you for letting me know, saintess." And Ning Tian takes out the treasure given by Luo Wuqing and is thinking, "Since there's so much time left, I can't waste it. I'll cultivate instead." And the saintess feels something and says, "Why is there such a rich aura at such a high altitude? Ning Tian? Is he really only in the spiritual realm? Why can he produce such a heavy aura?" And then Ning Tian gets a notification from the system, and the system tells Ning Tian, "You shocked the saintess of Yaoqi, you have been rewarded with the joyful Tao of 3,000. And Ning Tian is thinking, "Feel free to get shocked by me, it doesn't bother me. I just have to continue my cultivation." And the journey of both of them continues like this. And now it's night time. And even now Ning Tian is doing cultivation. But then the system tells Ning Tian, "The host has broken through. Congratulations to the host for breaking through and reaching the 3-star spiritual realm. Congratulations to the host for breaking through again and reaching the 4-star spiritual realm." Then Ning Tian is saying, "After accumulating aura for several days, I've finally broken through 2 minor realms at once." After this the scene shifts and we see, Yaoqi Holy Land, and there are some people at this place. And 4 girls in the front, and one of them a woman says, on the order of the Queen Mother of the West, Yao Ke is here to lead our guests to the immortal spirit spring for body tempering. And a man says, thank you, Miss Yao Ke. But then strong winds start blowing at that place, seeing which the man gets surprised, and he says, what's this sudden gust of wind? Then we see that the Saintess and Ning Tian are coming to this place. And both of them come to the ground. Then the Saintess says to Ning Tian, Patriarch Ning Tian, we have arrived at the Yaoqi Holy Land. And Ning Tian sees this place and says, it's indeed beautiful, it's not an exaggeration to call it a wonderland. But as soon as she sees the female Ning Tian, she asks the Saintess, this person is? Then the Saintess tells them, this is the patriarch of the heavenly demonic sect, Ning Tian. And as soon as all those females see Ning Tian, they become very happy. And she is saying, is this the famous legendary patriarch? I didn't expect the patriarch to be so young and handsome. Yes, the patriarch is really handsome. I feel like I can't take a breath. And then the Saintess tells Ning Tian, I didn't expect the patriarch to have such charm. And Ning Tian says to the Saintess, ahem, of course. At the same time Ning Tian is thinking, it's definitely not because of my charming physics. Then we see the man who is getting very angry, and he is thinking, damn it. The way Yao Ke looked at me just now was special, but she is praising another man for being young and handsome the next second. Unexpectedly, the patriarch who stole the spotlight at the Empress wedding is actually only in the spiritual realm. The Empress must have found her husband too weak, so she sent him here to take a dip in the spring and avoid embarrassment in the future. Then the boy comes forward, and says to Ning Tian, as we have met at this Yaoqi Holy Land, this holy son humbly greets the patriarch. The patriarch's words broke through the heart of the original holy son of our heavenly vault Holy Land. There's an uproar in the heavenly spirit domain. At the same time he's thinking, I'm not trash like the previous holy son. As long as you admit this, I will definitely test you. But Ning Tian tells him, I don't remember this. There were so many holy sons that day. And the man gets surprised after listening to Ning Tian, and then he says, you don't remember? And that man is thinking, you are the reason why we lost all face, and you were able to forget about it? To not even recall our heavenly vault Holy Land, it's so disrespectful to us. Then the Saintess says to Ning Tian, Patriarch Ning Tian, please come with me. I'll take you to see the Queen Mother of the West. And Ning Tian says to the Saintess, thank you, Saintess. And Ning Tian is thinking, I wonder what kind of a person the Queen Mother of the West is. Then the Saintess is taking the Ning Tian inside, and telling him, Patriarch, this is our Yaoqi Palace. And when Ning Tian sees the scene inside, he is very surprised. And he is thinking, unexpectedly, there is such a scene in this place. Then we see the Queen Mother of the West. And the Queen looks at Ning Tian and says, I wonder what the legendary patriarch thinks of my Yaoqi Palace? And as soon as Ning Tian looks at the Queen, he is thinking, being able to break through the void like this, she seems to be an immortal emperor. And Ning Tian greets the Queen, and he says, I greet the Queen Mother of the West. At the same time Ning Tian is thinking, I thought she would be an old lady. I didn't expect her to be so young. And the Queen says to Ning Tian, at first, I thought the Empress was crazy, but it seems that her husband is quite nice. And hearing this, Ning Tian starts blushing. And he's thinking, damn it, what's going on? Why is my heart racing? I shouldn't be that excited. Then the system says to Ning Tian, Host, the Queen Mother of the West has an extremely charming fox physique, which is the natural enemy of the godly physique. Only by using the godly physique can you resist the power of the charming physique. And Ning Tian is thinking, resist the power of the charming physique with my godly physique. I have to relax. And the Queen is thinking, even a strong cultivator of the celestial realm might not be able to resist my extremely charming physique. He is only in the spiritual realm, but he's actually able to resist it. Then Ning Tian says to the Queen, is such an attitude from the Queen Mother of the West acceptable? I am here representing my sect. And Ning Tian is thinking in his mind, I'm still Luo Wujing's husband. Then the Queen laughingly says to Ning Tian, I'm just joking, Patriarch. Please forgive me, I was being careless. And Ningtian says, let's get back to business. I wonder what the Queen Mother of the West wants our heavenly mirror for. And the Queen starts moving forward, and says to Ningtian, please follow me, Patriarch. Then the Queen brings Ningtian to another place. And a female in front is saying, what should we do? We can't delay it any longer. That thing in the spring definitely can't be kept under control. The Queen Mother of the West has sent someone to borrow the heavenly mirror, but we don't know when it will be brought back. And the Queen says to those females, everyone, this is Patriarch Ningtian of the Heavenly Demonic Sect. He is here escorting the heavenly mirror. And Ningtian asks the Queen, why is the spring so dark and unusual? So the Queen says to Ningtian, the Patriarch doesn't need to worry. Our disciples accidentally polluted the water source while cultivating. We can't handle it on our own, so we have to borrow your heavenly mirror. Then Ningtian says to the Queen, even the Queen Mother of the West can't deal with it? And the Queen laughingly says to Ningtian, although I am a strong cultivator in the immortal Emperor realm, I know nothing about dealing with such things. And after listening to the Queen, Ningtian is thinking, the Queen Mother of the West and these elders, they must be hiding something from me. Whatever, the affairs of other holy lands are not my business. I just need to complete this task, enhance my physique, and get the immortal elixir. Then Ningtian takes out the mirror. Then he says, so, I just need to use the heavenly mirror in the spring, right? And the Queen is looking at that mirror. At the same time she says to Ningtian, yes. But the heavenly mirror is an immortal weapon. Patriarch is only in the spiritual realm. Will you be able to exert its full power? Then Ningtian starts moving forward and he is saying, ha, you are underestimating me and my wife. Since my wife carved the formation into my body, that means I'm able to use the heavenly mirror. And then, a female looks at Ningtian and says, the Patriarch of the Heavenly Demonic Sect actually has a spiritual sea while in the spiritual realm. And the other female says, not only does he have a spiritual sea, but also 199 thunder tribulation spiritual veins. He is extremely talented, his future is limitless. And then Ningtian gets a notification by the system, and the system tells Ningtian, you shocked the Queen Mother of the West and Yaoqi's elders. Buff card earned, powerful physique card. And Ningtian uses the heavenly mirror, due to which golden-colored light starts entering the black water from the heavenly mirror. And Ningtian is thinking, the black aura that's gushing out of the spring must be what the Queen Mother of the West is hiding. Is that black aura resisting me? Shine light upon Yaoqi, eradicate all filth. Then we see that now the water has become normal. And Ningtian recalls the heavenly mirror. But now Ningtian is very tired, due to which he starts falling down. But the Saintess catches Ningtian, and the Queen says to the Saintess, Yao 11, the Patriarch has exhausted himself. Please help him recuperate. I will come back later to thank the Patriarch for his help. Also the Queen says to those females, pass my orders, no one is allowed to approach the immortal spring without my permission from now on. Then they leave this place. And after some time, we see Ningtian, who is sitting in the room and doing cultivation. And he's thinking, no wonder Luo Wuqing refused to give me all 3 immortal weapons at that time. Just activating the heavenly mirror at full power drained my aura completely. Fortunately, my recovery is quicker with God's record. And then the Saintess comes to that place, and the Saintess says to Ningtian, Patriarch, haven't you exhausted your aura? To get up now, I'm afraid that. And Ningtian stands up. And he says to the Saintess, no problem, I am almost fully recovered. And the Saintess is surprised to see Ningtian, because Ningtian has recovered very quickly, and hence the Saintess is thinking, I clearly saw him exhausting his entire spiritual sea just now, he was completely dried up. And the system says to Ningtian, you shocked Yaoqi's Saintess aura cultivation plus 300. And then the Queen comes inside Ningtian's room, and the Queen says to the Saintess, Yao 11, you can't say such casual things to a man. And the Saintess looks at the Queen and says, I greet the Queen Mother of the West. But then the Queen comes close to Ningtian, and starts touching his cheeks. At the same time she is saying to Ningtian, boy, your physique looks good. To express my gratitude, would you like to stay in my Yaoqi holy land for a few days? You can choose from all of my Yaoqi Holy Land's elixirs, how about it? Ahem, no need for that. Thank you for your kindness, Queen Mother of the West. At the same time Ningtian is thinking, the Yaoqi Holy Land is full of female disciples. If Luo Wuqing finds out about this, I'll definitely get punished for it. Then Ningtian further says to the Queen Mother of the West, before departure, my wife specially recommended to me the Holy Land that can enhance my physique. She said that you, the Queen Mother of the West, would not refuse this request. And the Queen says so, she wishes to go to the immortal spring. We from the Yaoqi Holy Land always repay the kindness we receive. The preparation of the elixir will take 2 months. We will send it to the heavenly demonic sect when it's done. As for the immortal spring, I won't refuse. I only need the patriarch to answer one question for me, and Ningtian says, what is it? And the Queen starts touching Ningtian's cheeks, and says to him very lovingly, Luo Wuqing or me, who is prettier? And then Ningtian says to the Queen, is it something I need to consider? The Queen Mother of the West is pretty, but my wife is naturally the best. And as soon as the Queen hears this, she directly slaps Ningtian, and tells him, okay, fine then. You can go to the immortal spring now. And Ningtian is talking to the Queen, wait, so suddenly? I'm not ready yet. Then Saintess says, Queen Mother of the West, did you just? And the Queen says to Saintess, don't worry, he won't get hurt. I just sent Luo Wuqing's darling to the spring through another way, that's all. After this the scene shifts and we see, immortal spring. And 2 people are moving towards the spring, and the man is saying, I've long heard that the immortal spring water contains an extremely rich aura, which can cleanse the marrow and strengthen the body. And the girl says, yes, that's right. But that's not all, Holy Son. The aura of the immortal spring is contained in the immortal waterfall. Once it falls into the pool, it changes to ordinary water. So, the disciples of the Yaoqi Holy Land sit under the waterfall to cultivate. Then the man says, the waterfall is coming down from the sky. Falling from such a height, wouldn't the impact make it? And the girl says, yes, if you stay under the waterfall for a long time, your body might be washed away by the spring. And then someone comes out from inside the tree and says, this is the immortal spring, men must not go any further. And seeing that elder, the girl bows her head and says to him, Elder Qinglin, this is the Holy Son of the Heavenly Vault Holy Land. He has come here to cultivate in the spring after receiving permission. And that man also bows his head, and says, this presence. It's a celestial realm cultivator. And the elder says, since you have permission, you may continue. And the girl says, thank you, Elder Qinglin. Then both of them are moving forward, and the man is saying, all disciples of the Yaoqi Holy Land are truly remarkable cultivators. Hee, beauties, your brave holy son is coming. Then we see that cute babies are bathing in the waterfall. And they all are enjoying it very much. And as soon as the man sees those friendly babies, his nose starts bleeding. And he is saying this is amazing. And as soon as all the babies see that man, they become very angry. And start shouting, ah! A pervert! Someone help! Pervert! Quickly hit him! And many things are thrown at him. Then the man is saying, senior sisters, calm down. I'm not peeping at you, I'm just admiring the waterfall. And the girl comes in front of the man, and asks the babies to stop. And she is saying, wait, everyone please stop. The Holy Sun Su Xing has permission from the Queen Mother of the West to come to the immortal spring. Then they are saying, babes, the permission of the Queen Mother of the West? Then I guess. And the other girl says, but why is he so obscene? Humph. He looks like a pretty beta Omicron Upsilon, but he's just a pervert. And that man is thinking, I'm the mighty holy son of the heavenly vault Holy Land, how many times have I even looked at you? But then Ningtian falls down from the sky. And he's going to fall all over those cute babes. And he is asking to remove those babies. And it falls directly into the water. Then they are saying, babes, who is it this time? Then Ningtian comes out of the water, and has opened his clothes a little, and is saying, damn it, why does every woman act like this? And as soon as the man sees Ningtian, he gets surprised. And he is thinking, Ningtian? Ha! I was allowed to come here only after getting permission from the Queen Mother of the West. And the man says to Ning Tian, the majestic and legendary patriarch of the heavenly demonic sect did not hesitate to descend from the sky to spy on the female disciples of the Yaoqi Holy Land. At the same time he is thinking, the heavenly demonic sect will now become a laughingstock of the entire heavenly spirit domain. And as soon as all the babies see Ning Tian, they become very happy. And they are all saying, so handsome, this is the legendary patriarch? And all the babies surround Ning Tian. And all of them are talking to Ning Tian, patriarch. Did you come to bathe in the spring too? Patriarch, let me rub your back. Patriarch Ning Tian is enjoying it very much. And he is also very happy. But then we see that someone attacks Ning Tian. And he says, the one who trespassed into the spring, die. But then someone saves Ning Tian from the attack of that elder, and says to that elder, Elder Qinglin, stop. And the one who saves Ning Tian is Saintess, and she comes forward, and says to the elder, this is the patriarch of the heavenly demonic sect, he was permitted to enter the spring. And the elder stops and she says, he's the patriarch of the heavenly demonic sect? I didn't know it was the patriarch who had arrived. Qinglin has offended you. I ask for your forgiveness. And Ning Tian starts coming out of the water and he says, it's fine, nothing happened. And that man is thinking, what is this? I am also the new Holy Son, I'm going to lead the heavenly vault Holy Land in the future. And my treatment is worse than someone who was born as a handyman. Then the elder says, since both of you have come to the immortal spring to cultivate, please proceed. And babies are thinking, I wonder if the patriarch can break the record of our Yaoqi waterfall. I think the last person to break the record was the Saintess, she lasted 1.5 hours. With such handsome looks, he can definitely do it. And that man is thinking, patriarch this, patriarch that, what's the use of these lovely words? To be both handsome and strong is the most vital thing. Then the man says, since we've both come here to cultivate, how about competing to see who lasts longer? At the same time he is thinking, with cultivation in the spiritual realm, whether you accept or not, you are destined to lose to this holy sun. But Saintess is speaking, the power of the immortal spring is extreme. This kind of competition is not needed, but Ning Tian says to the man, fine, let's compete. Then the man sits under the waterfall and is thinking, you group of women with no insight, I'll show you what a true man looks like. 30 minutes later, we see that all the man's clothes are torn, and blood starts coming out of his mouth. And seeing this all the babies close their eyes, and Ning Tian is speaking, his clothes exploded, he failed. Then the man is covering his private parts and saying, why did it end up like this? But Ning Tian is smiling too much, and so the man says to Ning Tian, stop smiling, spiritual realm, you won't last longer than me.